What if I told you there was a cheat code for the universe, a fundamental rule hidden right under our noses that could completely change how you see, well, everything? Today, we're diving into a concept from the very edge of science that suggests the world around us is way stranger and a lot more interactive than any of us ever imagined.
And here it is. This is the big one. The one sentence that just flips everything we thought we knew on its head. I know, it sounds totally impossible, right? But here's the thing. This isn't science fiction. This idea comes straight from quantum mechanics, one of the most tested and proven fields of science in all of human history.
For centuries, really, we've all been working under a pretty simple assumption about how the world works. But then quantum mechanics showed up and basically revealed that the universe has been hiding its biggest secret from us, in plain sight. So on the left, you've got the old, comfortable idea, right? The world is solid. A chair is a chair, even when you're not in the room. It's predictable, it's fixed, it exists totally separate from you. But the quantum secret? Oh, it's so much weirder. It tells us that the universe is actually this shimmering, vibrating field of pure potential. A sea of infinite possibilities that only snaps into the solid reality we know at the exact moment we focus our attention on it. Now, the fancy scientific name for the state of pure potential is quantum superposition. It just means that before you look at something, like a tiny particle, it literally exists in all of its possible states at once. It could be here or there, spinning one way or spinning the other. All of those possibilities are happening simultaneously until the moment you measure it. Okay, so how do we even wrap our heads around that? Let's try an analogy. Think of the universe like a magical video game cartridge. Before you plug it in and hit start, every single possible outcome, every level, every win, every loss, it all exists right there on the cartridge as pure information, pure potential. The moment you press start, and this is the key part, your attention, your observation forces that game to pick just one of those infinite possibilities to show you on the screen. Your focus literally collapses that wave of potential into a single, concrete experience.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. That's a really cool idea, but where's the proof? Well, believe it or not, scientists proved this mind-bending concept with one of the most famous and, honestly, baffling experiments in the history of physics.
The setup is actually incredibly simple. You take a single particle of light, it's called a photon, and you shoot it at a wall that has two tiny little slits in it. Think of them like two little doors. And behind that wall, there's a screen that just records where the photon ends up. Easy enough, right?
But this is where it gets so weird. When there's no detector, when nobody's watching to see which door the photon goes through, it does something that should be totally impossible. It stops acting like a little particle and behaves like a wave. It spreads out and goes through both doors at the exact same time, creating this distinctive pattern on the screen behind it. It's in that state of superposition.
But then, and this is the part that blows everyone's mind, the moment the scientists put a little detector at the slits to watch which door the photon goes through, its behavior instantly changes. Poof! It stops being a wave of potential and acts like a good old-fashioned solid particle, choosing only one door to go through.
So let that sink in. The crucial point is this. Nothing else in the experiment changed. Not the photon, not the wall, nothing. The only difference was the simple act of observation. Just by watching, we forced reality to collapse from a field of possibilities, going through both doors, into a single definite outcome of going through just one.
And here's the thing, this observer effect isn't just something that happens in a lab with tiny particles. This very same principle has a stunning parallel in our own lives, every single second of every single day. In a way, your brain is the ultimate quantum observation device. Let's see how.
Okay, get ready for this number. Every single second, your senses are just being bombarded with an astronomical amount of information from the world around you. We're talking about 400 billion bits of it. You can think of this as the quantum field of potential reality just knocking on your door.
But of those 400 billion bits, how many do you actually become aware of? Only about 2,000. That is a tiny, minuscule fraction. Your brain has to filter all that out, or maybe more accurately, it has to select what becomes your conscious reality. So that's the big question, isn't it? With a whole universe of possibilities available to you every second, what's the mechanism inside you that chooses that tiny, tiny slice for you to experience as your life? Well, say hello to your reticular activating system, or RAS for short. Now, neurologically, it's the attention center of your brain, but we can look at it through this really fascinating quantum lens.
Think of it less like a passive filter and more like an active antenna. Whatever you decide is important, your focus, your goals, your beliefs, your RAS tunes into that specific information and basically selects it from that massive field of data, pulling it into your conscious experience.
I guarantee you've experienced this. It's the perfect example. The moment you decide you're interested in buying a red car, what happens? Suddenly, you see them everywhere. Those red cars were always there, right? They were part of the 400 billion bits of information, but it was your focused attention that tuned your RAS to that frequency, pulling them out of the background noise and collapsing them into your conscious reality. Okay, prepare yourself, because we are about to go to the most mind-bending part of this whole idea. If our observation shapes the present moment, what could that possibly mean for the past?
To even begin to understand this, we have to kind of tweak our whole concept of time. In quantum physics, time isn't really a straight line, like a river flowing from past to future. It's more like a single, infinite moment, what some call the eternal now, where all points in time exist at the same time. And what's incredible is that physics has actually tested this. An experiment called the delayed choice experiment showed that how we choose to measure a particle right now can actually determine the path it already took in the past. It's a mind-boggling result, and it raises a powerful question. If our observation affects the past on a quantum level, what could that mean for how we observe our own lives?
So what does this mean for you? It means your past isn't some fixed, solid story written in stone. The events happened, sure, but their meaning is still a wave of possibility. If you look back at a past failure and see it as proof that you're damaged, you are collapsing a version of the past where that event made you weaker. But if you choose to observe that exact same memory through a lens of growth as a lesson that made you resilient, you are actively collapsing a different past, a past where that event made you stronger.
So when you put all of this together, the observer effect, the way your brain works, and the weird nature of time, you're left with one incredibly empowering conclusion.
This is it. This is the key takeaway. Your consciousness, your focus, your attention. It isn't just passively watching the movie of your life go by. It's the projector. It's what turns the film reel of infinite possibility into the solid reality you see on the screen. You are not a passenger. You are an active creator.
So that's the ultimate question we're left with, isn't it? The universe is this giant canvas of infinite potential, and it's just waiting for your attention to decide what gets painted into existence. Now that you know you're the one holding the brush, what are you going to create?